Welcome back to Trotter Chatter. We're joined here today by the lovely Tom Wade from the Robins Report, representing Cheltenham. How are you, my friend?
How you doing, Ryan? Yeah, I'm all good, mate. Cheers, all good. Not so great after the weekend, but not every start to the season's got to start with a bang, has it? But there you go.
How did you guys play for that? Was it a tough one? Shrewsbury, wasn't it?
Yeah, Shrewsbury. So it's a bit of an underlining thing. Obviously, I think it's well known that they come in the summer after taking our director of football and just raided the club. So it was a bit of a. I was told it wasn't a derby. I rubbished that and said it is a derby. Yeah, it didn't go great. We didn't turn up for 60 minutes, and by the time we did turn up, it was a little bit nothing really. It was a nothing game, really. I think 1-0 defeat. A draw probably would have been fairer, but that's the way it works in this league, isn't it?
So you got to move on to the next one, unfortunately. So obviously you're representing the Robins Report, which is a Cheltenham-based podcast. So where did you guys come about, and what you guys represent in terms of a pod?
Oh, good question. Well, to be fair, it all started, I'd say, probably first lockdown. Being away from football, you guys know yourself, you live and breathe it week in, week out. And it's kind of like fans weren't able to go and discuss with their mates about the game and things like that. So I kind of wanted to put something out there. I've been thinking about it for a while because there was never a Cheltenham Town podcast. And I thought, well, you you kind of want it, so why not use your initiative and go ahead with it yourself? And it was just made up of that, really. I initially it was myself and John Palmer, who's the local reporter around the club, and then did a fans one and thought, do you know what, I really like that. It's a bit somewhat passionate about the fans joining in. So it came. I kind of did a fans show. Decided I think that's the way we should go. It was a bit intermittent. I couldn't really commit every week. So I come across Owen Knight, our host, and got together and put together the podcast. We've got a pretty solid lineup now, and week in, week out, it's just episode after episode, really.
Brilliant, brilliant. It sounds very similar to sort of where we came about, but now three other Bolton podcasts have emerged as well. So it's the diluted market now for us. So 16th last season. Was it a struggle? Was it a tough season, or how would you sum it up?
Uh, I don't want to sound cliche, but every season for us is a struggle. We know where we are. We know who we are as a club. We go in, year out, thinking at this level, we just want to survive. Probably one of the lowest, second, if not the last lowest budget in the league. And it's about survival. In my opinion, I think we fell a couple of points short on that leaderboard. We probably left a few off there. There's a couple of games last year, especially the home games. Lincoln, Accrington, Morecambe stand out to me. All sides we know we could beat, probably should have beat, but it wasn't to be. But ultimately, I think that we stayed up in this league again. Another record season for consecutive seasons in this league, and it's a tough league to be in. So expectation wise, ticked every single box. And Wade Elliott in his first season come very close to doing what Michael Duff did the year before when we achieved our highest finish and points finish as well. So yeah, it was positive for me.
Good. Same again then, just about staying in the league and giving it your best shot, would you say, for this season?
Yeah, of course. I think that's a base starter for us. Anything above that relegation zone's a bonus for us. It always has been. I think this season, this league seems to get more and more competitive by the year. Like we did our pre-season podcast last week, and it was left off, but we was all thinking who's going down, who's going up, and it was kind of like I just couldn't decide. I just really, really didn't know. I kind of set my sights on who's going up. Um, I know you'll be keen to know where you were in there, and I did
Oh,
have you
please.
going up, to be fair. And that was justified the weekend, wasn't it? But yeah, I couldn't decide on who's going down. It's such a tight league down there that it's like three leagues in one almost, And if we can stay up again and pull ourselves clear and come to the end of the season and have good knees up, knowing we're going into the last day, just getting ready for the summer again, I'll be absolutely chuffed to bits.
It's easily, I think, like you said, a very competitive league. We're saying it's an easier league this year, but that's because, like you say, a lot of the teams are on a similar level. You've got those like Ipswich and Sheffield who are the main front runners, and yeah, it's going to be a dogfight. There are some teams who are struggling financially. Well, I thought Barnsley might have been one of them who might be back down there again. Reading, another one. Peterborough, just because of big changes, it could well be again. You've had a busy window as well, haven't you? Obviously, quite a lot in, quite a lot out as well. Losing players like Ryan Broom, Alfie May, Curtis Davis, I believe, as well, but coming in. How would you sum it up? Do you think you're looking ready, or have you lost too many big players?
I mean, I don't think we've lost so many big players. The biggest one is arguably Alfie May. I mean, when you lose a striker that can score you 20 goals a season, at any club, you're going to struggle. And the biggest thing is finding the replacement. Thankfully, January last year, we signed Aidan Keener, who we believe would replace him anyway. Looking at him, the way he finished off last season, you could see he's got that ability in him. Ryan Broom, I love Broomy, but I think the problem was there were so many games where he didn't turn up. And for such a high profile player, I was hoping that we weren't going to offer him a stupid contract to stay. Ultimately, he decided to leave. Another big departure for me was probably Ryan Jackson at right wing back. Jacko was outstanding last year, and it's a tough position to replace because the way our system works and the way football is these days, you need your right. They're not right backs anymore; they're right wing backs. So you try and find the right wing back, or again, like in the centre of defence, we lost Caleb Taylor on loan. He's gone back to West Brom. Left-footed centre half they're like gold dust, and I thought we got it right. In terms of replacements, I mean, you bring a man in like Curtis Davis, I'm absolutely chuffed for that. His experience is so clear to see. Obviously, he was suspended last week. Hopefully, he comes back this weekend. Hopefully, plays tomorrow against the Blues. To be fair, in the cup, but we'll see. But yeah, I think recruitment-wise, it's been really positive. I gave it a 9 out of 10 on our pod because we always struggle to attract experienced players just because of the club that we are. We've always been that get young players in and try and sell them for a profit. Doesn't always work. So I think recruitment-wise, getting someone like Curtis Thompson in midfield, he's 33 championship appearances, over 100 in this league alone. Yeah, I think that's great. So I'm very pleased. And obviously getting Luke Southwood, I can't go without mentioning Luke Southwood. Like, we kept our record clean sheets last year. He was monumental. So yeah, I think it's been a good transfer window. I'd say a 9 out of 10. Like I said, I think we've done really well.
Just need someone to step up and get those goals for you, basically, don't you? Obviously, you had Dan Nalundaloo as well on loan. Bolton fans are still undecided on him, if I'm completely honest. How was he in a Cheltenham shirt?
What can I say about Dan? Bags of potential, I'd say. By his own admission, I'm fortunate to have a good conversation with him just before we left. Wears his heart on his sleeve. You'll always get 10 out of 10 from him from effort. The one thing I would say to watch out for him now, especially with how tight referees are becoming on discipline, he always has that tendency to pick up a yellow card here and there, very hot-headed. If he can almost mature a little bit, bring that potential through, I think he's a fantastic player. We didn't really miss him in a sense of we replaced him, got Aidan Keener in. So I was happy with that. He was give us much more than what Dan did, I'd say, if he'd have stayed. But yeah, he's a very good player. He's got a lot of potential, but it's getting that out of him, I think. And I think at Bolton, he'll do well. I think, he's got a manager there that is clearly good with these types of players. So let's see if you can get the best out of him. And yeah, like I say, just discipline would be the only question mark for me.
Well, what you're saying isn't too indifferent in terms of potential. Ever could be the man who could get that out of him. Quite frustrating. I actually just seen the hot-headed side of him against Lincoln, to be fair. Body checked 2 players, noticed that. One player kicked Josh Sheehan's head, nearly kicked Josh Sheehan's head right near the ball. He comes steaming over and pushes him, which I quite like in a lot of ways. But yeah, I can see that from him. Last season was an interesting one, really, wasn't it, in terms of results? 1-0 both legs. Must say a very, very frustrating fixture, both sides for us. We struggle with all the greatest respect to last season to break down teams like yourself who will basically let us sort of sit in front of us, let us pass around. We argued that we were easy to defend against, and we pretty much were, and that's where we want to be improving on this season coming up. How did you find the two legs?
Yeah, I thought they were interesting games. I think, obviously, when we came up to you, I thought we were brilliant. And I thought on another day, if we could have finished, maybe we could have nicked something. But there's a thing, like when we go to sides like yourself, you're saying about sides like us that you find hard to break down. Sides with us, like yourselves, for us last season was we was putting in 7, 8 out of 10 and not kind of coming away with the results that we probably felt we deserved. I knew that you guys, you get frustrated and the question was coming. I'm waiting for it about the time wasting and stuff like that. Let me tell you, this year we got to be a bit more careful.
Got
To
no
be honest
choice in
with
the
you,
matter now, have you? That's the
no,
case.
no, no. I mean, thank God for the 11 minutes on Saturday because we actually started to turn up by the time we hit those. But no, yeah, I thought it was even not evenly matched in the sense of man for man, but I think I was pretty pleased with our performances last year when we played you.
Yeah, it'll be. I think it's arguably for us a bigger test because I think we lost like 20 plus points against the lower side in smaller grounds, and this is where Bolton I think need to see the improvement to get that extra 20 points, which would have put us in the playoffs more comfortably or pushed us more towards those automatic spots. In terms of who we need to watch out for then on a Saturday, any danger men or really solid players who are going to stop us getting those goals?
Stop you getting the goals would be obviously Luke Southwood in goal. Fantastic shot stopper. Hopefully, Big Kurt comes in, and we all know what he's like. He's a general in that central defence, isn't he? I mean, the one player I would have said to watch out for, to me, probably isn't going to play. Would have been Elliot Bonds. Big shout for Player of the Year. Big expectations on him. Obviously, international now, and it's just started showing, especially through pre-season. It transitioned into the first game of the season. Had a great end to last season. He'd be a key player in the centre of midfield. Unfortunately, I don't think it's likely he's going to play. Again, probably you got to go with Aidan Keener. If he gets the ability to get on the ball within the area, he's definitely a player to watch out for. Fantastic finish for the football, and look, we got to create those chances first. I think it's more about what we got to watch out for you than you've got to watch out for us. No disrespect to the boys, to be fair.
Yeah, well, I unfortunately decided to get overexcited about this season. I'm pretty confident after that first game. I've sort of let myself get in that position, but we did look really good, and we played West Brom and Everton in pre-season and came out with 4 points. So it's like, naturally, I'm feeling really good about it. We look miles better than we did this time last season in terms of balance. Like you said, we've actually got wing backs at wing back rather than a centre half dropping in there. Yeah, we look good. It's just about those other boys contributing with goals, I suppose. Obviously, you'll be familiar with Dion Charles. We need a few more from midfield and a few of our strikers getting involved. How are you feeling then if you had to give us a score prediction for a Saturday? I've not thought of mine yet, so I'll see what you say first.
um, well, we had this discussion on Tuesday, and I've said, look, to survive in this league, you've got to take care of business at home. You've got, you can go away, nick results, or you can go away and probably not get the result that you wanted. But first and foremost, you've got to be looking after your home form. After Saturday, against us, no disrespect to Shrewsbury, but against a side like yourself, if we put that type of performance in, it could be anything and we wouldn't come out with the right result. We'd probably be dead and buried by the time we even got going. But, I'm a bit like yourself. I had a reputation on the pod. I don't ever, predict us to lose because why would you want your team to lose?
I agree
I
with
know
that.
you've got to
I
be
do the
realistic.
same.
You're never going to go on, yeah, we're going to lose 4-5-0. You're never going to do that, are you? Even if it is a realistic opportunity. I mean, like you say, the class that you got in there, like I looked at from Saturday, you had Carlos Mendes Gomez on the bench with Cameron Jerome. Like players like that off the bench is just it's unbelievable. So
You can have Cameron Jerome
Oh,
if you want.
yeah. Wow. Experience probably could do with it a little bit. You know, he's
Yeah,
been
I'm
there and
assuming
done it. And
he's becoming a coach soon or something because
yeah.
he's a little long in the tooth now.
Wow. You got them role players, a bit like us with Curtis Davis. They bring more than they do off the pitch, on the pitch. Not saying Curtis Davis won't, by the way.
I think
But
it is.
anyway, I'm just trying to justify him. Yeah, that's why I'm rattling
Yeah,
on.
you give me a politician's answer here. You've not actually predicted anything yet.
I'll go. I'll go 1-1.
Okay, okay. I will go 2-0 Bolton. I know that's like a really basic bitch prediction, but I think you guys will set out like you did last time to stop us scoring and trying to get what you can from it. I don't think it'll be as open as a game as it was against Lincoln. So 2-0 I will go with. Anyway, who have you got in the cup as well? And you said the Blues. Who's the Blues to you guys?
Birmingham.
All
Side
right,
I can't
okay.
stand. Yeah,
All
yeah.
right. Under
Yeah, Birmingham. Well, to be fair, we played them in pre-season and we looked pretty good against them, and they put out a pretty good side. But we beat West Brom in pre-season at home. That's why it gives me the confidence that we can beat anyone a bit like you. You know, you come
yeah.
off it and go, "Wow, we gave West Brom a game," and that was pretty strong side they put out. But now, Birmingham in the cup, it doesn't mean anything to me. I say it every year. I'd take a solid league finish, comfortable, over any cup run that you could even throw out there, to be fair.
We said that, and then we ended up getting overexcited at Wembley. But yeah, you'll take it when it's there. But yeah, anyway, thank you very much for joining me there. I really appreciate it. And I think it's good to get the insight from sort of the other side of the fence. And I'd like to wish you the best of luck, but I'm not gonna. Best of luck for the season, we'll say.
Yeah, that's the gentleman's handshake there, isn't it? Best of luck for the season, but not on Saturday, I suppose.
Yeah, that's the one.
But
Yeah.
thank you for having me. Been a pleasure. Cheers. Thank you for having me on.
Have a good one.